Good evening, 7th grade. This is Ms. Hollenbeck with Lesson 4 in your vocab. Lesson 4 begins on page 15, and it is an even lesson, so it's a context clue lesson that you will be working on in the back of the book, working on context clues. All right, we'll review some of those after we go through your 10 words for Lesson 4. The first word is apprehensive. Apprehensive is an adjective. All right. Now, apprehensive, you probably have heard this word before. You might be apprehensive about taking a vocab test or a vocab quiz if you are not prepared to take it. If you have not studied, you might be apprehensive, a little nervous, not anxious to take it, just feeling some anxiety towards it. That is apprehensive. All right? And as I mentioned, it is an adjective. Second word is callous. Now, callous is an adjective. That's how they use it in this book. And it's the only part of speech that they mention in this book. You can have a callus on your heel, all right? Or I have a callus on my right hand, on my finger, because I do not hold a pen correctly or a pencil correctly, so I've developed a callus there. But in this book, they only use it as an adjective. Though if you think about a callus, like on my hand or on your heel, it gets calloused. The adjective meaning is easy to remember, because a callus on my finger, I could push on it, and it is a big, tough lump on my finger. All right, I can't feel it. All right, it's just tough, and you really can't feel anything under it. Okay? Same with a callus maybe on your heel. Sometimes in the summertime, if people wear flip-flops, their heels become cracked and callous, building up a callus. They can't feel any, it gets tough, okay? And you can't feel stuff underneath it. So you can walk around barefoot because your feet are callous, you know. So a person who is considered callous, they are tough and unfeeling, all right? Thick-skinned, all right? That's a callous person, unfeeling, okay? Our next word is commendable. Commendable, that A-B-L-E, anytime, it's an adjective, all right? Commendable, let's break it down a little bit. If I commend you for something, let's look at the verb. If I commend you for something, I'm giving you praise for something, all right? You got your lessons done on time, or you did a great job of leading a prayer, or of being an example for your chapel buddy. That would be commendable. I would commend you on that. It is worth some praise, some encouragement, all right? Commendable is an adjective. Indignant. Indignant. Indignant is an adjective. And indignant, and it's very simplistic meaning, means angered. But to become really specific and use this word precisely, the anger that you feel is towards an injustice. So if you were treated unjustly, you might feel indignant. You were angered from that injustice, all right? You would feel indignant towards a situation. Let's say that you were blamed for something that you did not do, all right? And you got in a whole heap of trouble for something you did not do. You might feel indignant about that, or even indignant towards the people who punished you mistakenly, all right? You didn't deserve that, and it was unjust, and so you are angered by that, okay? So it's a little bit more specific than just feeling anger. It's anger over an injustice, okay? I feel indignant when people talk about pro-choice. I feel indignant because I don't think a little unborn babies are given a choice. And I feel indignant for them. I think they're being served an injustice. Okay? Ineffectual. Ineffectual is an adjective. Now this one is really easy if you break it down. Okay? The ending, the AL ending, makes it, or the UAL in this situation, makes it an adjective. All right? The in front of it, that IN, makes it opposite or not. All right? And then we are left with the word effect. An effect is like a desired outcome. Okay? And if we put the not in front of it, it's not the desired outcome. Okay? So another way of saying it is not effective. It didn't bring about what you had hoped to bring about. If it is ineffectual, all right? It did not bring about the desired effect. Okay? I think the earlier videos when I used my computer, some of it was ineffectual because it was really difficult to understand. I'm slightly worried about the lighting for this one, but you just need to hear me. You don't need to see me. Okay? Anyway, let's see. Next word, adjective. Judicious, the OUS, always adjective. Okay? If we break the word down, we're left with judge. Okay? And that plays a part in the meaning. Somebody is considered judicious. They make good judgments. All right? If they are judicious in nature, they show valuable discernment skills. They can analyze things and make good judgment calls. They are judicious. All right? They show some wisdom in their judgment calls. Okay. Our next word, mystic. A mystic is an adjective or a noun, but a person noun. So it's an adjective or a person noun. Okay? Now, you see in the word mystic, kind of that mystery. So if it's an adjective, we're talking mysterious. All right? If a certain character had a mystic quality, they were kind of mysterious. All right? The person noun is a person who believes in the spiritual influence of nature, of their own personal experience. A mystic might be one who would go out onto the mountaintop and commune with nature to get some spiritual insight. All right?
that is a mystic. Okay, that's the person noun. So discovering the mysteries of the spiritual realm through nature and meditation and that sort of thing. Okay, that's what a mystic is. Paraphrase. Paraphrase is a verb. It can also be a noun. And do they do? Yeah, they do a verb and a noun in the book. All right. Now let's think a little bit. Let's break the word apart. We have phrase. Okay. A phrase is talking about any group of words. Okay. That means what it says there. Phrase. Para means not quite or almost or a substitute for. Okay? So, for instance, a paralegal, they're not quite a lawyer, all right? And yet they work, they do some lawyer-type jobs, some research and stuff. So a paralegal, not quite a lawyer, all right, but kind of a lawyer almost, okay? Does some lawyer-type jobs, okay? Paraprofessional. Some years ago, some of the school districts, and they still may do this, may hire paraprofessionals to teach classes. These are not teachers per se, but they have professional skills that they're going to teach to the students. All right. For instance, if somebody was economist, somebody who works in economics, businessman works in economics, not a teacher, but he would be a paraprofessional, and he would come into the economics class and teach economics. Okay. Not a teacher, doesn't have a teaching degree, but he's a substitute for that. And so with his profession, and he's going to teach his professional skills. So a paraprofessional, all right? So paraphrase means, it's a group of words. It's not exactly how something was stated, but the general gist is there, all right? The gist is there. The meaning is there. Not exactly as it, like word for word, stated exactly as somebody said it or as it is written, all right? But a close substitute where the meaning is conveyed but not in the exact words, okay? So frequently you are asked to paraphrase something you've just read. Okay, when we talk about Macbeth, I'll do and we read Macbeth and listen to it, I'll do a lot of paraphrasing. All right, this is the meaning. I'm not going to quote it word for word because you just heard it, but I'm going to tell you the desired intent or meaning. Okay, so a paraphrase, I could look at a paraphrase or recite a paraphrase, or as I'm reading something, I could paraphrase it for you. This is what Shakespeare was saying. All right? When he said this line, this is the intended meaning, and I'll say it, I'll paraphrase it. Okay? All right. Spend too much time on that word. Personification. This is a literature term. We see personification in all types of literature, but especially in poetry. It's mainly a poetic term, but a lot of books are written with a lot of poetic language, and so frequently we'll see personification used even in novels. A personification is a noun. Let's start there. The T-I-O-N makes it a noun every time. Okay? So, personification, we see the word person in there. And here's what personification means. We're going to take something that is not a person and give them the quality of a person. Okay? One of my favorites, a young lady last year said, the sale sign in the mall was calling out to me. Well, obviously, a sales sign does not have vocal cords, does not have a mouth, cannot shout, but she was giving that inanimate object human-like qualities. What she was saying was that sale, she wanted to be there, all right? It was calling out her to come in and spend money, okay? So personification is attributing human-like characteristics or person characteristics to a non-human thing, okay? Verbatim. Now, verbatim, I'm glad verbatim is in this list with paraphrase. Verbatim is an adjective, all right? And verbatim means word for word. So it's not the, it's kind of the opposite of paraphrase. If I paraphrase something, I'm going to say it in my own words. I'm going to try to get the gist of the meaning, but in different words. But verbatim means I'm going to say the quote word for word, precisely. Okay? If I say something verbatim, I am saying it exactly as it was written or spoken. Okay? An exact quote, verbatim. Okay? So those are our words. Your lesson, context lesson, begins on page 149, I believe. Let me check. Absolutely. It's page 149. And I want to remind you of the different context clues. I look down here, and the first thing I see is they'll give you an exact synonym, maybe in the sentence afterwards or a sentence before, but an exact synonym. That's one way. Another way is with an appositive. Remember, that's a noun right after the other noun. Okay? There's an example of that. Number 2 with bayou. Look for the noun that follows bayou. It's an appositive phrase. That's one way to give you a contextual clue. Another is nope, those are, I said those. Nope, said those. I think you're going to get those. I'm looking. Sometimes they'll give you an example. I'm trying to look down here and see if they do that. Oh, they give you the opposite. I'm seeing an opposite in here. So watch for the opposite, okay? In order to figure out what a word is, they give you the opposite meaning, the antonym. Okay. Sometimes they'll give you a metaphor or a simile. And I was thinking they might do that because of the word personification, but they don't. I thought they might do that, you know, but they don't. They do a different thing for personification. I think that's about it, all right? So look for synonyms, antonyms, appositives, and then I just gave a brief glance, so make sure you look for similes and metaphors, all right, and look for examples of the word, all right? That's 149 through 154, all right? So We'll talk to you again soon, 7th grade. Bye for now.